If you're asking, yes, you have me. Him by who you saying it's high. If you're asking, yes, you have me. Him by who you saying it's high. Him by who you saying it's high.
Time will tell who has fell and who's been left behind. She said, Lord, I said, Lord, I said.
You're still out here doing these songs, you know, you're still on tour.
I do, but I don't take it for granted.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
Went to the crossroads and made it a big deal, you know, like, yeah, one night, and then went back to Minneapolis, and I was like, hey, where's this guy been? You know, he went to the crossroads.
Do you think of yourself primarily as a singer or as a poet?
I think of myself more as a song and dance man, you know.
Eius Lucifer matutinus inveniat. Ille inquam Lucifer qui nescito casum Christus filius tuus qui regressus ab inferis humano generis serenus iluxit et tecum vivit et regnat in saecula saeculorum.
Shows us a different way of measuring success. Ours is to plant the seeds. God sees to the fruits of our labors. And if at times our efforts and works seem to fail and not produce fruit, we need to remember that we are followers of Jesus Christ, and his life, humanly speaking, ended in failure, the failure of the cross.
So the Satanic brand, the Satanic tonic that was made in the early 1900s, started out pretty much with a couple of guys, and they promised to cure every stomach, liver, kidney disease, which was a lie. But it was in Wichita, Kansas by W.W. Daniels and B.A. McGaw. And it says that you might think this would have been a terrible advertising campaign to call your brand satanic, but it actually worked really well. Demand was so high, they quit their day jobs, and armed with $50,000 from investors and lenders, they rented out the Butts building in downtown Wichita and set up an office and a laboratory. They hired 2 full-time salesmen, as well as a chemist, Mr. W.O. Bachman, from the Southwest Drug Company. But the turning point was when they came and struck up a business deal with Wichita printer named W.G. Smith, who is the owner of Smith Hobson Printing Company. Smith traded his printing plant to Daniels and McGaw for stock in the company, and then entered into a contract whereby he would have complete control over the printing of all satanic labels and advertising materials. The brand's distinctive packaging was all him. So he was the one who put Satan in his undies, you know, parading around like some kind of crazy wrestler. And he was also the one who put Satan in a top hat like a gentleman. Initially, the manufacturer sold just one product, a purifying tonic designed to cure stomach ailments. And this tonic was advertised heavily in Kansas newspapers. The following year, the manufacturer perfected and then trademarked its slogan. And from that point on, Satanic became a household name throughout most of the Bible-thumping Midwest. Before long, Satanic Medicine and Manufacturing Company expanded its offerings to include all sorts of salves and liniments, in addition to the original tonic. By 1919, Satanic products could be found in most drugstores throughout the U.S., and a contract with the drug company brought the popular remedy to pharmacies in Mexico. And although the tonic's ingredient was a closely guarded secret, an FDA analysis performed in 1921 concluded it contained vegetable oil, magnesium sulfate, so it probably tasted like sulfur as well, cascara black bark extract, salicylic acid, methyl salicylate, peppermint oil, water, and a trace of alcohol. And what got them in trouble was the methyl salicylate, because it is toxic in big doses, although there really wasn't that much in there. Around this time, the phrase "for all the world" appeared in several ads, hinting at the company's global intentions. And here's some of the articles that they had printed. Scores testify to its worth in general, tonic, and specific. Quote, "The best medicine I have ever taken is the stamp of approval placed on Satanic by scores of its users. Scarcely a day passes without some person writing in and telling of the great benefit derived from Satanic." Before long, the Satanic Medicine and Manufacturing Company expanded its offerings to include a heavy-duty cleaner for mechanics, miners, painters, and other blue-collar workers, and also Satanic Gas Saver, a fuel additive that promised to give cars more power and speed and improve mileage by up to 40%. And Daniels and McGaw became millionaires. Not sure if this is the same McGaw, but it was the only picture of anyone involved that I was able to find. So this stuff is like old school, and there's hardly any record of it. Pretty Mandela effect delicious. But anyway, there were a lot of products that were made during that time that were pretty out there. Listerine cigarettes, asthma cigarettes. They sold arsenic, heroin, all kinds of things over the counter, and this was quickly done away with when the FDA was created and stepped in about, say, around 1930. They started coming up with regulations for these things. But this is probably one of the good reasons why the Cancer Act of 1939 was made under the guise of protecting people through government regulations. But what it actually did was put the control in the government's hands alone, and that cut out the actual cures for cancer, which are mostly natural. So there's a lot of Satanism in our world, and it's very disturbing to me that it's so hidden and that people don't even realize really what it is. We fail to recognize the symbolism, like Baal, the bull, the ancient deities that we don't realize are being portrayed all around us and really pushed into our consciousness in a way that is purposeful, and it's sinister, and we think we love it. We think it's part of our identity. This is a crazy thing. So pentagrams on school buses.
Pentagrams. Can you see the pentagrams? Pentagrams on a school bus and the lights down the bottom there. Pentagrams.
So how far is too far? They've been passing out in public schools this Satanic Children's Book of Activities. It's basically a coloring book that is an introduction to Satanism. And as you can see, it has a kid with a goat on his shirt and another little girl with an inverted pentagram on her shirt. And this, in my opinion, is not guiding our children correctly. This is something we don't even understand ourselves. I mean, for crying out loud, this girl has horns, and that looks like Anton LaVey, who's a big Satanist. This is not the way that is going to lead to great things for humanity. Anyway, it was done saying if a public school board is going to allow religious pamphlets and full Bibles to be distributed, we think the responsible thing to do is ensure these students are given access to a variety of different religious opinions, as opposed to standing idly by while one religious voice dominates. And that's ridiculous. Anyway, I found a lot of devil paraphernalia, especially among magicians of the time, back in the day, and it gave me this sinister feeling that these magicians are being, well, handled. They're being under the control of these entities, the Debs, basically, and it's very sinister. Very, very sinister. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Thank you so much for being my Patreons and being my support. I really can't do it without you guys, and I'm going to try harder to get you guys good information that's like bonus extra stuff. Okay, so thanks for being there. Thanks for being awesome. And spread the love all over, okay? Much love to everybody. Bye.